Hello, Shelley here. Welcome to the last pattern of my Compass Rose set of patterns. This is West, and it's probably the most interesting one. It's got a little interesting technique that may be new to you. Anyway, it's lots of fun. Let's go. If you're new to my patterns, probably best to watch the North video first, as I have explained a lot of my ways there and given you some tips on how to manage things if it's all new to you. Anyway, let's go with West. We're going to start with a magic circle, and same as the other three patterns in the series, we'll start with chain 3 starting chain or a false stitch, and then a 15 double crochets, so 16 stitches in total in our first round. They all start the same, so that's nice and easy. Sure, you don't really need to see me make them all. So I will do that and then show you the next part. Okay, there's my 16 stitches in total. And pull my magic circle closed and join with a slip stitch to my false stitch, or chain 3. If you did chain 3, it's fine. I do a false stitch instead of chain 3 most often, which I talk about in the North video. All right, round 2. Now this is where you might come across something new. We're going to chain 3 starting chain or false stitch, a double crochet in the same stitch as slip stitch. Okay, now the next stitch we're going to use twice. This stitch here, oops, I might put the hook down, be easier. Okay, so this stitch here, this is where you work into it, but we're actually going to do a post stitch around it first. So we're going to do a front post stitch and then work a stitch into it. So it can be a little bit interesting. So let's do our front post first. So around the post of the stitch, double crochet. And now I'm going to do a stitch in it. And as you can see, it's hidden. So you might need to flip your work up. You see, this is the post around that stitch, and then you work one into it. So that one stitch has been used twice. Then we're going to do a double crochet in the next stitch, just a simple old stitching stitch. And then we're going to use the next stitch twice again, but this time we're going to do one in it first, then around. This is easier to do because you can see what's happening. So we start with a double crochet in it, and then we do a front post around it. So you can see that's where I've worked into it. So we use the same stitch, but the post this time to do a front post stitch. Then the next one is a corner, which we do a double crochet, a half triple, and a double crochet in the same stitch. So let me walk you through that again. So this stitch we're using twice. We do a front post first, and then a stitch in it. Now you might have to pull that front post stitch down the post to expose where you need to work into. Stitch in the next stitch, and then the next one we're using twice, in first, then around. And then we're back to our corner. So we're creating these spread out V shapes. Okay, I've finished with my last stitch in and stitch around. So now I need to finish that first corner. So I'll do a stitch in the same stitch as my first stitches. So that's my false stitch. This is the first stitch that I did. And then I will join with a slip stitch to my false stitch, or your chain 3 if that's what you did. Okay, that's round 2 done. Round 3, I'm going to start with a single crochet in the same stitch as slip stitch, then a single crochet in the next stitch, and the next stitch is our front post stitch, and we're going to use it twice again. So we're going to do front post around it and then in. So around and then in it again. So there's around and in the same stitch. Now we'll just do one in the next 3 stitches, 1, double crochets, 2, 3, The next stitch should be our front post, and it is, and again we're going to use it twice. We're going to go in it first and then work a front post around it. Okay, so these are getting wider. Then in this stitch here we do a single crochet, and then in the middle stitch of the corner we do our corner. Single, chain 2 and single. Okay, I've done my last front post and then a single stitch after it. So now I need to finish that first corner by doing a stitch in the same stitch as my first stitch, chain 1 and join with a single crochet to that first stitch. Okay, round 4. No more using the same stitch twice, but each stitch is just going to be used once now. So first we do a stitch over the joining stitch, single crochet, then a single in the next 2 stitches, and it's before the front post, 1, 2, then we do a front post double around the front post, and then a double in the next 5 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The next stitch should be a front post, and it is, and we just do a front post around that front post, double crochet, and then a single in the last 2, 1, 2, and then in the 2 chain corner space, single, chain 2 and single. There you go. Okay, don't worry if it's starting to get a little bit wobbly, it will all be fine. Okay, so I've done my 5 front post and then the last 2 stitches. Just need to do a single in the same space as my first stitch, chain 1, join with a single to the first stitch. Okay, round 5. Start with a single over the joining single, a single in the next 2 stitches. Okay, we're going to skip that next stitch and go straight to doing a front post double around that front post double. We're going to do a double in the next 2 stitches, 1, 2, and in the middle one we're going to do a half triple, a triple, and a half triple, all in that middle stitch. Then we do a double in 1, 2, a front post around the front post double. I'm going to skip that stitch, and in the last 2 do single crochets. And in the corner, single, chain 2, single. Okay, here we are at the end of round 5. I just need to do a stitch in the same space as my first stitch, single crochet, chain 1 and join with a single crochet to my first single crochet. Alright, round 6. Start the same way, single crochet over single crochet, a single crochet in the next stitch, chain 2, double crochet in the next 2, which should be before the front post stitch, front post double crochet around the front post stitch, and then a double in the next 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, a front post around the front post, a double in the next 2, chain 2, single in the last stitch, and in the space, single, chain 2, single. It's our last front post round. Alright, just need to finish off round 6 by doing a stitch in the same space as my first stitch, chain 1, join with a single crochet to that first stitch. Alright, round 7, chain 3 starting chain or a false stitch, double crochet over the joining stitch, a double crochet in the next 2 stitches, 1, 2, you're going to skip that 2 chain space and do a back post half double around the next 2 stitches, 1, 2, then we're going to do a back post single around the next 9, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Your first and 9th should be around the front posts, back post stitches around front posts, and then a back post half double around the last 2 before the 2 chain space. Skip the 2 chain space, double in the last 2 stitches, and then our corner in the 2 chain space is a double crochet, half triple, and a double crochet. That's it. Alright, we get our cool shapes now. I just need to do a double crochet in the same space as my first stitches, join with a slip stitch, and we're on to the second last round. Chain 3 starting chain or a false stitch, double crochet in the same stitch as the slip stitch, double crochet in the next 2, 1, 2, then we're going to double crochet the next 2 stitches together, so the last regular stitch and the first back post stitch. So yarn over, insert, loop to the front, yarn over through 2, stop, yarn over, insert in the next stitch, through 2, then yarn over through 3. Then it's a half double in the next 3, 1, 2, 3, a single in the next 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, a half double in the next 3, 1, 2, and 3, and then we're crocheting 2 together again. And then a double in the next 2, which should bring us to the corner, and it does. Double, half triple, double. Sweet. And here we are at the end of round 8. I just need to do a stitch in the same stitch as my first stitches. Oops. Double crochet. And join with a slip stitch. And then we are on the final round, which is all single crochets. We start with 1 in the same stitch as your slip stitch, and there's 1 in each of the next 19 stitches along the side, and in the middle corner stitches, just like we've done before, it is a single crochet, chain 2, single crochet. So all stuff you've done before, I am sure. And that's it. That is the last of my Compass Rose patterns, the West pattern. I hope you enjoy them all, and if you do, maybe you want to check out some of my other patterns, because I think I've designed about 400 granny squares now, so there is plenty of fun times for you. Yeah, I would love to see what you do, so tag me at Spin Cushions if you're sharing on Instagram, or join my Facebook group. I would love to see what you're doing. Thanks so much.